Hey, another shuffling tutorial. This one we're going to focus on one move only because it's enough for this one. Polly Pocket, orgasmicpathways.com. Choose your pathways. For this one, it's called Let's Dance. So let's do Polly Pocket. If you haven't seen the Running Man video with T-stepping, learn how to do Running Man first with T-stepping. Otherwise, this is going to be too much, I think. This one took me a while to get down. Polly Pocket is the most difficult of the basic shuffling moves, in my opinion. Okay, so let's get started with that. So Running Man, prerequisite for this one, right? You know how to do it. What I would like you to do before we even get into Polly Pocket is do a Running Man variation where with your front foot, your toe is up and your heel is sort of digging into the floor. So it's going to look like this. That's going to help you a little bit with Polly Pocket, just a little bit. And you'll see why. Okay, I'm going to turn around to make this less confusing. It took me a solid week, maybe 2 weeks, until I started to really get Polly Pocket down. I'm practicing every day. So if you don't get it at first, it's completely normal. It's a big neurological adaptation in the brain, but you can do it just through at least a few minutes of practice every day. Okay, so I got my right side, I've got my left side. I'm going to do this very methodically for you, explaining every part so that you can get it. And then we're going to do it. But first, I'm just going to show you what it looks like, sort of a medium speed. It's like this. And turning around forward, it's like this. To the side, you kind of get a feel of what it looks like. It's pretty cool. Running Man is cool. This is a little more interesting than Running Man, but they both are cool. Okay, so right side, left side. I'm going to go up on my left leg. The right leg is up. I'm in perch. My right ankle is in alignment with my left knee, holding my balance. The first of two movements of this whole thing, like Running Man has two movements, right? It's basically this. So let me go back. The first movement is this. So I'm facing a 45-degree to the angle to the left with my front leg. I'll go back up into perch. My front leg, the one that's up, the right, I'm going to move it to a 45-degree angle to the left this way. My toes are going to be up, my heel planted to the floor. At the same time that's happening, I'm also kicking my bottom leg the opposite direction, 45 degrees, this way to the right. So it's going to look like this. One. It's hard to hold your balance in that. It's a lot easier once we get it going, but for the purpose of showing you how this breaks down, that's one. And then the and count, so 1 and 2 and, that was 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. So go back to 1. So we're in perch. 1. The leg that's in front, it's at a 45-degree angle to the left. And is going to be when we hop back up on this front leg. Bringing it right beneath our body. Bringing our back leg up into perch. And. Okay, let's bring the right leg back up again and just do 1 and repeat that a couple of times. So we've got 1 and. Go back into perch with your right leg up. 1 and. Right leg back into perch. We'll do it one more time to make sure you've got this movement. So 1 and that's it. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. So your left leg is up in perch, left ankle in alignment with your right knee. So this time it's going to be the opposite of what we just did. Our left leg is going to go a 45-degree angle to the right. Our right leg, the leg that's on the bottom, is going to kick back 45 degrees to the left simultaneously. So we're going to do 1 and. 1 and. Let's try that again. 1 and. try that again. Back into perch. One and a reminder, also a reminder to myself, one of these times I did this with you, I didn't have my toes up. But if you want to start with your feet flat, I suppose that's okay. And to be able to do it both ways is actually good. I mean, more options, right? So back into perch, left leg up, one and. One more time on this side, left leg up into perch, one and. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to go back to our right leg being up into perch. We're going to do one and, then pause, then two and, then pause, then repeat one and, pause, two and, pause. And we'll do that a few times. So here it goes. One and, two and, one and, two and. This is a lot easier once we get going and there's no pause, but for the purpose of learning, so with every pause right now, it's hard to keep your balance doing it this way, but what you're focused on right now is just getting the mechanics down and allowing your brain to adapt to this movement that you're probably not used to. So there's a big neurological adaptation happening here. So let's do that same thing again with the pause, and remember to land on both of your feet simultaneously. You want your legs to be straight, but do not lock your knees because you want to protect your knees from injury. So here it goes. Ready? One and, two and, one and, two and, one and, two and, one and, two and. One more time. One and, two and. So when I was first learning this, to get used to it, to help my brain make that neurological adaptation, that's the main way that I practiced it. First, I got the, okay, one, I got that, and then, and, okay, let's do the other side, two, and then once I got that wasn't too hard. It was the next part and keeping it fluent. Then it was one and. So that's what I would spend most of my time practicing. Two and, one and, two and, taking that pause at the top. So at first, pausing between one and then pausing between one and, two and that's where I spent most of the time, and it'll probably be the same for you as well. So that's a big practice tip, is to practice like that. And then at some point, you increase it. Let me show you the next part. So try this out with me. We're going to pause at one and then two and, just like we did. Then we're going to progress it to pausing after one and two and. So just like we did before, do this with me. Into perch, right leg up, one and pause, two and pause. One more time, one and pause, two and pause. Now we're going to go one and two and pause. Ready? One and two and pause. Again, one and two and pause. Again, one and two and pause. One more time, one and two and pause. Okay, pretty cool, right? You can see how you allow your brain the time that it needs to be able to really process this and adapt to it. Now we're gonna continue that. Right where we left off, we're going to do one and two and pause. Ready? Do this with me. Right leg up, we're into perch. One and two and pause. One more time. One and two and pause. Now we're going to do one and two and three and. Okay? Ready? One, two, three, and one and two and three and. I messed up. Let's do that again. I was doing a double stop, which will be in a future lesson. Okay. So right back into perch. One, two, three, and one, and two, and three, and pause. Let's do that again, right where you left off. One, and two, and three, and pause. Again, one, and two, three, and pause. One more time. One, and two, and three, and pause. Okay. Now, we're going to do it, we're just going to do all four counts right now, okay? Ready? One, two, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and pause. Recenter yourself. Ready? 1, and 2, 3, 4, and pause. Again, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and all right. Now we're going to do an 8 count, because why not? We're going to do an 8 count starting on one side, pausing, switching to the other side, because we want to be able to start and stop on both sides. This is a one where it's easy in that once you learn it on one side, it's easy to switch to the other side. So that's no big deal. It's just getting it down. Okay, ready? Right leg up. We're going to do an 8 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, 7, and 8, and okay, switch to the other side. Left leg up and perch. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8. Yes. Beautiful. Now, I'm going to show you, I mean, you can do whatever with your arms. I think this looks pretty cool to do this little motion here with your arms when you're doing this one. So let's try that. Basically, here's what it looks like. So I'm going to go back up and perch, right leg up. So it's building on the twist that you're doing with your body. This is a great oblique workout, by the way. Great oblique and cardio work. So as my right leg is going out 45 degrees this way, my arms are going to go the opposite direction. And the same thing when I come back up, I'm going to go to the left with my arms when my front foot is going right. So that's how that works, and it's going to look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that looks kind of cool. So I'm going to face you this time, and we're going to do an 8 count, and we're going to do it a little bit faster, okay? Closer to a normal speed. And then we're going to get the metronome out. We're going to do it to actual music on a fancy metronome that's a bit better than just a click. Okay. All right, so here's what it's going to look like with the arms. We're going to do an 8 count, a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, 7, 8. Yeah. All right, now we are just going to do it to some music. Start with 90 beats a minute. We're going to build up to, the consensus is you should be able to work up to doing all these things, especially the basic moves, up to a minimum of 120 beats a minute. So we're going to try to work up to that. First is 90 beats. One, and 2, and 3, and 4, and smile more. Typically I'm smiling when I'm doing this. Okay, so we're going to do 100 beats a minute now. It's just reminders. Make sure both of your feet are landing at the same time. That's something I struggled with in the beginning. I think it was my back foot wanted to land first before my front foot, if I remember correctly. But either way, make sure your feet are landing simultaneously. Poly pocket is one you definitely want to do with well-cushioned, well-insulated shoes. Straight legs, but not locked knees. Protection. So let's try that again at 100 beats a minute. One, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Shoulders remain forward. Remember, so I'm twisting with my obliques, which makes it a great oblique workout, as well as awesome cardio, heart and lungs. Smile. If there was ever a time to be spring-loaded, Polly Pocket is it. That's for sure. Now we're going to do 110 beats a minute. Stick with it. Take a little breather. I'm already building up a sweat. And I'm in great shape, so it just goes to show this is phenomenal exercise and it's so fun. Let's see here. Okay, 110. 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7, and 8, and man, that is some cardio. All right. Wonderful workout. Okay, now we're doing, now we're doing 110. I was reading that incorrectly. We started with 80 beats a minute, then 90, 100, and now we're doing 110. So here's another tip as we're getting faster. The more that you spread your leg, or the wider that your stance is, like this part here, the more energy demand it's going to create. So as we get faster, you might find yourself not going as wide. So even for me, this might be a little bit more narrow, depending on how much of a workout you want to give yourself right now. But that's another thing to keep in mind. So shoulders always squared forward, just a reminder. Land at the same time, both feet. Toy with how wide or narrow you want to go, especially as we get faster. And go for that full range of motion as you can for a better workout, and be spring loaded. Also, another tip, make sure your weight is mostly back on your back foot. Like if you're going forward on this, like you're going forward like this, it's not going to look as cool, and it's going to be more difficult to go faster. So you want to keep your weight centered, but if anything, more so on your back leg. So as I jump into this, let me examine what's going on here. So yeah, I'm pretty well centered. If anything, I would be more on my back leg, but not by a lot. So it just helps keep me more spring loaded so I can move faster at these faster tempos. So now 110 beats a minute. 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to do 120. With all those tips you've got in mind, especially at this faster, so I can already notice myself, I'm not going quite as wide as I was. A little more narrow, but not by much. And I'm definitely more spring loaded, so that I can move faster. Okay. 120, this is the bare minimum you want to work up to being able to do, okay? 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. That one I seriously struggled on. I'm gonna try 130 beats a minute just because. We'll see what I do. But that one was tough. I was barely hanging on that whole time. Wow, 130. Give it a shot. Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. I kept it up for about 5 or 6 counts. That was it. Drop back down to 120 and do that. One more time. 120. Here we go. Start on the left this time. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that was it because I started to lose it. That is the greatest workout. There's no better cardio workout than that. It's amazing. And I'm in super great shape. So I think that says a lot. And also, because of the twisting motion of Polly Pocket, excellent on your abs, your obliques, even your spine, because you're getting a twisting motion there. All the yoga poses that do the twisting ones, you're twisting the spine. That's what keeps you young. So warm up your body before you do Polly Pocket. So just in quick review of what we did, I'll do it forward, sideways, and backward so that you can see what I'm doing. Land both feet at the same time. Toe up. Dig your heel into the floor, your front heel. Back foot is flat. Legs are straight, but my knees are not locked, protecting my joints and my lower back. Drawing my navel into my spine. My body weight is pretty central, if anything, a little bit on the back leg, certainly not forward. Otherwise, I'll slow you down so much. And always keeping the shoulders forward. So I'm going to do this with your feet. Like a 3-directional hopping move. I'm twisting here. Shoulders are forward. We're doing that with Polly Pocket too. So I'll do it at maybe 110-ish. So like in between medium and fast. For review, just for review. So ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4 and. Side view. Start with my left leg up this time. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. A back view. Start with my left leg up again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Remember, if you go wide like this, like I'm super wide now, I won't be able to go as fast. It's something to toy with based on how strong and powerful you're feeling, how much of a workout you want, and the speed of the tempo. Now I'm closing it up. I can really go lickety split. Right? And there you have Polly Pocket. Hope you had fun with that. Drop your comments, subscribe to my YouTube. That really helps me out a ton. I never have to charge anybody anything because YouTube will pay me so long as I get new subscribers, new comments, and so forth. So that's how you help me out without money. Just subscribe to my YouTube and interact with me. Tell me what you like most about this, how you fared the first time doing it. I'd love to hear about it, what you'd like to see me cover. My next shuffling tutorial is coming soon. That was Polly Pocket, everybody. OrgasmicPathways.com. Choose your pathways. What a workout. Bye for now. Mwah.